Nonprofit Logo Designs and Explanations by Richard Thorsness. We were to take the description of 3 different kinds of nonprofit organizations and create names and logos for them. The following slides will show you the design I came up with and explain how I decided on them. Up first will be the Environmental Agency. For this organization logo, I went with the name Seas and Trees. I chose this name because the organization helps animals and habitats in both the forest and the seas, and having a main focus on the sea, I put it first. I decided to make an emblem logo using the Descartes principle of closure. I decided on this design after reading about the organization's work with sea life. During the sketch part of the assignment, I had a bunch of ideas that centered around waves and trees and eventually sea life. So I made a sea turtle with a tree in the middle of the shell. For the color schemes, I went with colors that could represent sea or land. The next slide is for the Domestic Violence Shelter. For this organization, I went with the name Nest, Safe House and Shelter. I settled on Nest for the name because I wanted something that represented a home, but temporary one, and also the name because it showed comfort and safety. Once I had the name, I had to come up with the logo. I did research on domestic violence shelter logos and logos that had a nest in the design or name to get ideas of a direction to go. Once all my sketches were done, I chose to go with the emblem design of a dove, the symbol of peace and hope, and a nest of open hands welcoming the bird. I constructed it with the Gestalt's proximity in mind. The color scheme for this logo, I chose violet and teal. Violet is the national color for domestic violence, and teal or turquoise complements the shade of purple well. And this last logo is for the art agency. The art agency was the toughest one for me to come up with the idea for a name. I know I wanted something I could use as an acronym, like the Museums of Modern Art's MoMA, or the Seattle Art Museum has SAM. Living in Olympia, the capital of Washington State, I decided to go with Capital Arts and Technology Gallery, or CAT Gallery for short. As for the design of the logo, I owe that to my son Cooper. I was struggling with ideas, and he suggested a cat in a picture frame. I sketched it out and liked the idea, but wasn't sure of using it until one of my peers chose it too. My logo is more of a seal-style logo in its vertical form, and is in the Gestalt figure ground principle. The color scheme was totally random. I have no real logic behind it other than I wanted an orange cat, so I went with complementing colors after that. And those are my logos. I hope you enjoyed this presentation, and thanks for watching.